Hey there, welcome to Thesis in 3 weeks, day number 6. Okay, so first thing you're going to do, same thing you do every day, review your notes. Go through your notes table. You've learned something by now. You know something that you didn't really know 6 days ago. So let that sink in for a moment, but make sure you're going through your notes. You're highlighting things that you want to make sure you don't forget, and you want to, again, yesterday we did a lot of sorting of your table, but really just immerse yourself in your topic. So next thing you're going to do is, one last time, you're going to search for more references. And what you don't want to do is do your research and get to the point where you're presenting your thesis only to find out that someone just did some groundbreaking study that was published yesterday. So go back to the library and make sure that you're following your methods, your search strategy. You might need to tweak this a little bit later, but look for any references that meet inclusion criteria for data that you're going to study. And if you find additional references, you're going to need to update your chart at the back that's in your appendix right now. And you'll also need to update your methods section. After today, you're not going to touch either of those except to edit them. So the other thing is, if there's any more introductory background references, if you look at your notes, you're like, there's a gap here. I've got to find a resource that tells me something. Today's the day for you to get that. So once you've done that last search, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your notes and you're going to identify these are your data articles, these perhaps, or articles or chapters or resources. So this will be what you are going to analyze, what you are going to compare and contrast. So you've identified those articles. You can highlight them in your table itself, sort it so you're there looking at all of them, because the next thing you're going to do, especially if you're doing a systematic review, you're going to need a summary table in the appendix of your paper. And you probably will have to go into your appendix, insert a section break, and change the orientation to landscape to fit your summary table there. So easy enough to find a video on how to do that. I don't really have one, but anyway, hopefully you know how to do that. You want to make a summary table. And in that summary table, you're going to take information from your notes and you're going to paste it in or type it in. So the summary table has a row for each citation and has a column for the characteristics of articles that informed your research. And these could be, the columns could be the independent variables that you're going to analyze, compare, and contrast in your results section. So what does that mean? If you're doing healthcare research, you're going to have probably a column for participants, the number of participants. You might have a column for location, for demographics. You might have a column for intervention type, and that could include dose, frequency, duration, outcomes. So that sort of thing. You've seen these in other review articles, so you can go look at review articles, for example, but you want to build that information into your table and make it very, very succinct. Not a lot of words here, but you're going to populate it with all the articles that you're going to analyze in your results section. So for my chicken recipe, as I mentioned yesterday, I might have cooking appliance, temperature, time, seasoning, pan, result, and maybe accompaniments or what outcome they use to measure that this was the best recipe, whatever that is. So take care to build this summary table, and that will then show you what you're going to analyze in your results section. But here's kind of a funny thing. When you read systematic reviews, especially in healthcare, people will talk about their search terms. We searched, these big databases. We searched PubMed, we searched Science Direct, whatever we searched. And we used search terms, and we used this and that, or this or that, and we got 700 articles. And then we only chose articles that worked with a certain population or a certain type of intervention. And they just keep narrowing down, and all of a sudden they get to the end and they say, and 4 articles met our inclusion criteria. Those 4 articles are the data that they analyze in that review. So it's kind of interesting when you see that over and over and over again. It's how articles are categorized, but that's how you identify where your data are. And so back to your methods section, you should be able to then go back through your inclusion exclusion criteria, and whatever number of articles or number of resources that you're going to analyze, you can say so in your methods, that's going to be the exact number that needs to match the table. So Table's going to be pretty important, and you'll really get to know that more so when you start to draft your results section, which is coming up. But the other thing you do want to do is in your one last search is look through review articles. If you're writing a review, or certainly reviews are big for theses, but look through review articles or other articles in your field, just a couple of them, for ideas on manuscript structure. You're not reading through the articles, you're looking at headings, you're looking at shape, hopefully articles from some authoritative source, as in a decent journal, not a schlocky little journal, but look for ideas on manuscript structure, and that's going to help you start to shape the research that you've done up to this point. So good luck today. See you tomorrow.